Hi, I'm Dave Pardo, Marketing Manager at Stratigent. Welcome to today's webinar broadcast, focusing on the data layer, the preferred methodology. Today's presentation will include Stratigent Senior Consultant and Team Lead Kevin Wysocki, as he gives us an overview of how the data layer can improve tag management systems. Thanks for tuning in, and with that, I turn things over to Stratigent Senior Consultant and Team Lead Kevin Wysocki. Good afternoon, Kevin.
Thanks for the introduction, Dave. As Dave mentioned, I'm Kevin Wysocki, a Senior Consultant and a Team Lead here at Stratigent. In this presentation, I'm going to cover what a data layer is and why it's so important. Before we dive into data layers, let's talk about tag management really quick. I'm sure that most of you know what this is, but for anyone who doesn't, tag management is a way to have one line of code on your site that is responsible and manages all the other tags that get deployed. This allows you to manage all of your tags from a third-party interface and make changes, updates, or deletions to any of those tags very, very quickly, which is going to then increase the speed to ROI in which you actually get from those marketing tags. And so a typical implementation before tag management would be months of planning from a business requirement standpoint, and then actually sending over the documentation to your IT team to get all of those tags out there, push it through QA, and then have that be tied to some sort of release cycle. And for many clients, that can take anywhere from 3 to 9 months. And so there's a lot of time loss where you're just not gathering data, and that's obviously not valuable. And so this allows you to make that process much, much faster. And lastly, it also minimizes IT involvement. And so you're allowed to then make changes and tag updates without actually working with IT, which makes this process much, much easier. So what is a data layer? A data layer is a single repository for all the custom data that will be used by all the analytics tools that are deployed on your site. And so this custom information, this will be things like user-centric data, lifecycle data, e-commerce information, all the custom pieces of data that usually get included in analytics tools or any sort of custom implementation that is unique to your business. And so this data layer is then used by your tag management system to pull information from and then add into each tag and send that data off. And so if you have multiple vendors that need information about the products being purchased or the cost of the cart, as long as that information lives in one location, we can pull that information out, transform it into any format that it needs based on the tag, and then send that information off. And this data layer is implemented by your IT team. And so once they get these business requirements on the page, on the right pages, then we never have to ask them again to touch that data layer in terms of making any changes to the existing requirements if we want to switch tags. So why is the data layer so important? For anyone that's implemented any larger analytics package, they know that the out-of-the-box data collection is nice, but it isn't uniquely fit to your business. It doesn't understand your unique business requirements and doesn't include all this custom data about your business, your users, and your site. And so because all of our analytics tools are based on this custom data that's unique to our business, it's the cornerstone of all data collection that we have. We will use this data not only to take it and put it into each one of our tags, but we're also going to use this logic to control when and where certain tags fire. And so if you have a site that is changing constantly or is redesigned fairly often, and every time you push out a change there is some break to your analytics code, this is a large problem. And so instead of linking site URLs or certain HTML content to certain requirements on our page, we can instead use this data layer as a place to look to know when someone performs an on-site search or someone purchases a product. It also minimizes IT resources and involvement, because once that data is on the page, we never have to ask for it again. And so as long as during that initial implementation we include as many business requirements as possible, the only time we ever have to go back to IT is if there's some new piece of information or new data point that we want to capture inside of our tools. And just to restate, it is the most important piece of the implementation, and it should not be shortchanged. We work with a lot of clients where they implement their tag management system and they all of a sudden just want to start adding new tags and don't really think of the larger picture of the most important piece is actually this data layer, not necessarily the tag management system. Because this is the most important part of your implementation, the strategy that you use for that is absolutely instrumental in ensuring your success long term. And so I've seen a lot of different strategies based on the clients that I've worked with, and I've been able to put together many best practices in terms of where the data layer has to live, what it should look like, and the type of data that we want to include. And recently, W3C put out this white paper on data layers, which I think gives great visibility into how important these data layers are. And it really outlines a solid framework, but it doesn't include a lot of the key strategies that I've learned over the past 2 years implementing data layers for people. Over the next 2 months, I plan on combining all of these best practices and strategies into an ebook and a webinar series in which we will cover the Stratigent data layer method. This method will focus on a vendor-neutral strategic enablement vehicle to generate marketing ROI for all of your technology investments. That being said, I'd like to thank you for watching this video and look forward to any of your feedback or questions over the next few weeks.
Okay, great information, Kevin. Thank you so much. That concludes today's webinar, focusing on the data layer, the preferred methodology. On behalf of Stratigent Senior Consultant and Team Lead Kevin Wysocki, we'd like to thank you for viewing this presentation. For further questions, comments, or requests for additional information, feel free to email info@stratigent.com or visit us online, stratigent.com. This is Stratigent Marketing Manager Dave Pardo. Have a great day.